Bum bum bum. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest. If you said goodbye to me tonight, there would still be music left to write. What else could I do? I'm so inspired by you. That hasn't happened for the longest time. Once I thought my innocence was gone. Now I know that happiness goes on. That's where you found me when you put your arms around me. I haven't been there for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest. I'm that voice you're hearing in the hall, and the greatest miracle of all is how I need you and how you needed me too. That hasn't happened for the longest time. Maybe this won't last very long, but you feel so right. I could be wrong. Maybe I've been hoping too hard, but I've gone this far, and it's more than I hoped for. Who knows how much further we'll go on? Maybe I'll be sorry when you're gone. I'll take my chances. I forgot how nice romance is. I haven't been there for the longest time. I had second thoughts at the start. I said to myself, hold on to your heart. Now I know the person that you are. You're wonderful so far, and it's more than I hoped for. I don't care what consequence it brings. I have been a fool for lesser things. I want you so bad. I think you ought to know that I intend to hold you for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. For the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. For the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time.
This goes out to all the women in the world, especially her. You know it don't even matter your age, don't even matter your color. Your fellas, I ain't forget about y'all. This is for everybody that like to dance. Just listen to what I'm saying and do it and take a chance. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll and grind. Just get on the floor like I said before. Y'all remember that down low? Just put a little dip with it. Now roll those hips with it. Pop
turned away and you comforted me. I will trust and will not be afraid.
All right, Chad, how's everybody doing tonight? All right, how we all doing? Oh my gosh. So, I always say that if you send a super chat when I'm not live, I'll see it when I am live and go ahead and read it. And we got a super chat from Bulbasaur.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Who tips $111.11. Again, from a particular deep-pocketed listener. Thank you very much for that. Big help this month in particular. And you tip just a YouTube link, so we're going to go ahead and watch that. I've already seen this, and I don't understand what the fuck it is. But we're going to watch it because somebody paid me $100 to do it. And I am nothing if not a whore. Oh, who is fucking messaging me? All right, I think I got it sent silenced. Oh my gosh. Or I guess I don't. Motherfucker. You know what? Hang on a second, chat. Hang on a second. Hang on 1 second. 1 second of dead air. Dead air, dead air, dead air. Okay. I swear, every time I want to go live, everybody in the fucking world wants to text me. Chat says, who has that much disposable income? I don't know. I don't know, but I certainly ain't complaining. It's a fucking, it's God answering a prayer this month. But surely some of the rest of you have a couple of bucks, like $1 or $2. Come on. For your favorite Bulbasaur. Anyways. We're going to watch this video that he sent me. I don't particularly understand it, but we're going to watch it. It's Imperial Knight Status 2 by Mr. Video Game over here.
Hush, 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 blush, blush, blush.
You are now my big fat crush.
I'm single as I can be. You're single, perfect for me. I'm gonna give you a bunch
Titans
of...
of God shall end this war. Symbols and ancient lore, fashioned fearsome engines of war. Those that do end in fear shall adore as its guns leave nothing but war. Nothing can withstand its depths as it leaves behind a path of death. Forts and tanks are reduced to wreck its foes. Nothing but mere specks. Rumbling its pride as cross tracks and breaks its war horns blare the air, then shame its cannons burst like sun in its wake. Woe to oppose as everything quakes. Blessed to body, priest of steel, forged in the fires of zeal. Immortal hour of the Emperor's will. None shall oppose as they fulfill.
Cool. So that was something. I don't know what it was, but it was something. And I got paid $100 to play it. So I'm not complaining. I don't really know much about Warhammer other than what Undertow's told me. I'm sure Undertow would find it hilarious. If Undertow watched this, I'm sure he found it hilarious. I don't know much about Warhammer. I know even less about the Chinese cartoon. So it's a bit lost on me. But I certainly appreciate $100 to play it. All right. But we got some other stuff to play, chat. So this is back from mid-December. But I only recently saw it. And I think we should all watch it. Because it looks great. It looks so great that I think everybody should send more super chats. Let's see. So this is back in December, the Chicago mayor, and as we know, Chicago, not exactly a white evangelical Republican stronghold. But the Chicago mayor, he had a town hall that did not go well for him. And we're going to watch it. I got somebody posting in Spanish in the chat. I don't know Spanish. I couldn't tell you. This is America. All right, we speak American. All right. Posting in Spanish was rejected at the ballot box. By the way, already people waiting on him. We got some. I think that's a lady, but she's wearing a "Make America Great Again" fucking pimp hat. This dude looks like he has a "Make America Great Again" fucking hard hat. So we're already off to a start. Again, this is known Republican stronghold, Chicago.
Purchase.
So it has already been determined that you don't follow the United States Constitution. And maybe that's perhaps because you're not a founding father and your name is not on the document. So perhaps if we show you something that your name is on.
What a bitch. I love her. Well, you didn't sign the Constitution, so let's show you some stuff. I have only watched clips of this. This is already off to a great fucking start, chat.
Maybe you'll follow those rules. We got a rules of order and procedure, City Council, City of Chicago, for 2023 to 2027, with your name on it. However, we sit in here all the time and watch you violate our rights. We sit in here all the time and watch you allow City Council to violate our rights. Now, we're going to talk about this budget, about the strange things.
Where's Grubby? Because I think he found his future wife.
That's happening. Because, again, your name was on this executive order of May 2023. This executive order for immigration, migrants, and refugee rights. You caused all this money to go to illegal immigrants, not Harold Washington.
Again, these are staunch Republicans. known Republican stronghold of Chicago. Good God. The Democrats are fucked. The Democrat Party is so fucked right now. And the amazing, they don't even seem to understand how fucked they really are. Like, Democrats are still on, like, Twitter and, like, getting their talking points. The ones that are, like, that JoJo chick and all, the ones that are astroturfed and fucking DNC shills and shit, they're still going on with Hitler and, oh my God, Trump is Hitler. Oh my God, we're watching fascism rise in real time. Because as we all know, one of the first things Hitler did was, he was a staunch proponent of free speech, for example. He was big on free speech. He pushed that. He was big on lowering taxes. None of this works anymore that they do. Like, for the love of God, Eldridge fans, stop Spanish posting. I can't read it, okay? Like, none of it fucking, you might as well be punching the keyboard. Liberal cities diverted community funds for black towns to fund social programs for illegals. Everybody thinks that, like, oh my God, we're just going to post again pictures of, like, some little Dora the Explorer looking little girl crying at the border and everybody's going to fold. Nobody gives a shit this time. Right now, the big thing they're pushing is like, oh, look at this picture of this brave teacher who's going to, this elementary school teacher who's going to fucking, she's going to defend her students from ICE. First of all, there's no reports I know of confirmed that ICE is going into elementary schools to arrest illegal aliens that are enrolled in these elementary schools. That said, they fucking should. If I had a kid in elementary school, which again, I wouldn't fucking put them in public school to begin with, but if I did, I don't want little fucking Haitian and Mexican kids and shit stealing his lunch money and draining the school because they don't speak fucking English. And in the case of Haitians, they have an IQ of like fucking 40. I don't want that in the fucking school. So get them the fuck out of there. They're posting all this shit and they're like, oh my God, can you believe it? And all the responses are like, they're not even doing that, but they should. Nobody cares. And again, we're looking right now at fucking what should be the bluest of blue Democrat neighborhoods. And they're like, nah, fuck this. Fuck you. If the Democrats don't fucking open their eyes and take stock of their current position, and I mean, I kind of hope they don't. I say kind of because I don't entirely want the Republicans to be unopposed, because they do come up with some dumb shit sometimes. But if they don't, they're not going to win another presidential election for a generation. Like, they're not. Okay? You're looking at 4 years of Trump. You're looking at 8 years of Vance. And again, if they don't turn shit around, you're looking at another fucking 8 years of somebody else on the Republican side. Now, that's assuming the Republicans don't drop the ball. And they're very good at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. But also, that was kind of the old Republican Party. That's not Trump's Republican Party. Not now. Like, everybody's had enough. Eldritch Fan says, Naked Gun 2, quote, I have a dream one day the Democrats will put someone up here worth voting for. I mean, they're not going to anytime soon. Things have shifted. There's a vibe shift in the air that feels... I mean, you could argue Gamergate was a big vibe shift. It really wasn't that big, but in online geek communities, sure, it was some of the first real cultural pushback I seen the leftists get. You know, some of the first even remotely effective cultural pushback. But it petered out. And then there was the Trump election. Again, big vibe shift, but it fucking petered out because Trump he got in there and he was fucking around. And now there's this. And this feels bigger than both of them put together by a wide margin.
You going to be held accountable for it. And we want a forensic audit of the money that was spent on illegal immigration. You all are trying to do everything but that, when in fact, that's where all the money went. So anything that you all pass, it's not genuine. It's not honest. Because you're trying to cover up where our money actually went. Now, it's been some strange voting going on. Let's talk about the fact that Taliaferro and Lopez, Sergio Lopez, got extra money. Could it be because Byron Sergio Lopez wrote a letter on my behalf to help with my case, and so did Taliaferro? Could it be that they were told that they could get more votes if they blew my case? Whoa. Now, let's look at Alderman David Moore, who have been in here and listened to me talk about my probate all the time and haven't done anything. Could it be he planning a seminar with Lori and them, while at the same time selling me out? Because he's supposed to be getting a field house for his ward. We got something for you. Fridays, Friday's Famous Friday, and we got another one. This is Chicago Flip Red. Chicago Red got you too. You got Chicago Red and you got Chicago Flip Red, and both of us getting that. So now, who's gonna be Famous Friday? Who are this name?
I don't know
real
what
fast?
you're talking about now.
Carlos Ramirez Rosa. Yeah!
Thank you very much for your comments. However, your time has expired. Our next speaker is Sharon Abbott.
Exactly, Chet. That's right. Well, I bet this will... Oh, my God.
Brandon Johnson, first of all, I hate to break your heart. I didn't vote for you. I'm a lifelong conservative. Nevertheless, your job is to represent all of the people of Chicago and not your own personal interests. On May 15, 2020, you took your oath of office and solemnly swore to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that you would faithfully discharge the duties of the office of mayor to the best of your ability. The U.S. Constitution, Article 4, Section 4, states that the United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of these against invasion. The preamble of the U.S. Constitution states that we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, and provide for the common defense. Likewise, the Illinois Constitution reiterates that the people formed our government with its primary role being to ensure domestic tranquility and provide for the common defense. Brandon Johnson, you violated your oath of office. You have not supported the U.S. Constitution nor the Illinois Constitution. You have not protected the people of Chicago from invasion nor ensured domestic tranquility. You have also ignored the Declaration of Independence, which declares that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. No one appointed a monarch to rule over the people of Chicago. Rather, as mayor, your duty is to serve the public, and you are bound by the parameters of the Constitution only to act by the consent of the people. Members of City Council, you likewise took an oath of office to support the U.S. and Illinois Constitution. You are also bound by the parameters of the Constitution only to act by the consent of the people. Yes.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is David Mason.
Well, maybe he'll be in favor of the mayor. He's got to get at least one guy, right? I don't think this guy.
We have to remember history, because the number one thing that we know for certain is that history always repeats itself. So, Mr. Johnson, I know that you can appreciate with me giving you a history lesson with you being a former social studies teacher from Elgin. Well, you plan on going back to the classroom anyway. That was the whole purpose with you taking a leave of absence, right? Well, besides the mental reason. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. But let's go ahead and talk about history repeating itself. Let's talk about taxation. Chicago has a tax for everything. Water tax, grocery tax, tourist tax, hotel tax, bag tax, liquor tax, cigarette tax, the highest sales tax in the country by far, parking tax, surcharge of downtown parking, property lease tax, and streaming tax. The only thing that you all don't have a tax for yet is oxygen tax. And the only reason why you don't have a tax for that just yet is because you ain't figured out how to do it yet. But let me not speak too soon, because you probably...
This is great. This is great. The Democrats are very fucked right now. Like, do you understand Trump did better in 2024 than he had previously, the two times previously, in every category that they measure, including black women. Now, again, I don't have the numbers in front of me, and it doesn't really matter that much, but it went from like 98 to 96, so still overwhelmingly Democrat. But the point is, they lost ground everywhere. Including their strongest soldiers. Okay, that's the equivalent of Republicans losing ground among white evangelical boomers. They're fucked. They're beyond fucked. I don't see how they get out of this. You know, there are voices in the Democrat Party that are like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be so fucking retarded. You know, you're Carvilles, and of all fucking people, even Chunk Yu-Gi-Oh! Trying to be the voice of reason. And they're not being listened to. And while, like, Elizabeth Warren is on Twitter, like, pissing and moaning about what a fascist Trump is, every time, in the time it takes her to type one of those tweets, Trump just signed, like, 17 executive orders. One of which states that Elizabeth Warren is a fat pig. Like, the Republicans were in bad shape after 2012 in particular, and after 2008 too. Not like this. This is bad for the Democrats.
I might actually think it's a good idea, and you're going to try to write it down. So let's go ahead and talk about, let's not forget about the good old sugar tax. Y'all remember y'all used to back in 2016, and you go to your favorite grocery store and you buy your favorite 24-pack of pop? Well, you paying more taxes on that pop than what the actual cost of it is. What you didn't know is that your buddy Brandon Johnson voted for that sugar tax. So it's not a surprise that he wants to pour a $40 million line of credit and put the city in even more debt.
Well, you know, with all those taxes, all that money coming into the government, I bet Chicago has really great public services, right? Like, am I right, chat? Do they have awesome and great public services there? Are they making good use of all that money they're getting from people? I bet Chicago is a really clean and safe city.
Than what we already are with the $1.2 billion deficit. But it's your fault.
They got a deficit? They got a $1.2 billion deficit. Just the city. The second city has a $1.2 billion deficit. Oh, man. Everybody was saying, like, oh, Gavin Newsom, because he's a fucking pretty boy and he's all charismatic. He'll be the big fucking great white savior for the Democrat Party. And I don't think that's happening, chat. I mean, they gotta look. They're gonna have to bite the bullet and find themselves a fucking white guy. They're gonna have to do that. They don't want to say that out loud. Like the Carvilles and shit don't want to say that out loud, but they know that's what they got to do. And I don't know that they have much. They don't have much of a bench right now.
That because you gave half the money to illegals. Also, it's lazy government is what you call it. So let's not forget that we gotta watch these politics. And I was at that Board of Czar meeting, and Tom Homan said out of his mouth that it is illegal to harbor and conceal illegal aliens. So like I told you before, that you ain't gonna blink, well, we ain't gonna flinch either. Now, I'm gonna tell you another thing. All you illegals, you ain't gonna have no Merry Christmas. You're gonna have a Merry Deportation Christmas.
Well, no, buddy. This was back in like December. No, they weren't getting deported in Christmas. They're getting deported here in January. They're getting deported big time here in January. Otis Trent said they back off topic, but about your comic book talk last stream. Have you ever read the Hillbilly comic by Eric Powell? I can't say I have. No. Thomas Crown says, I can only imagine what Chicago's property taxes look like. Ah, God, I can't. Oh, jeez. Wolfland says, Hispanics also majority support deportations now. It isn't just black voting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Hispanic males went strongly for Trump. Hispanic females went more Democrat, but Hispanics even as a whole went for Trump. Again, nobody, all this like, oh, look at the crying person at the border and all this other shit. Like, it's not going to happen. You know what the face of the immigrant is right now in the public consciousness? It ain't Dora the Explorer anymore, okay? It's that fucking orc from Haiti going, I ain't going back to Haiti. Fuck Donald Trump. Joe Biden gave me all this money. Obama gave me all this money. Looking like a goddamn fucking Lord of the Ring orc. You know? That's the face of the immigrant. Like, look, we just watched a woman be set on fire in the subway by some fucking crazed lunatic immigrant. We're done with it. We're fucking done with it. Everybody is fucking done with this shit. Like, it's not working now. All this, oh my God, think of the poor immigrant. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody wants to hear it anymore. You know, you get videos of these contractors and shit, and they're like, oh my God, guys, I hire all these illegals, and this is going to hurt my business. And there ain't no sympathetic replies. You know, it's all people like, oh, what exactly is your business name? Let me send it to ICE. By the way, people, did you know you can actually not confess to crimes on the internet? That's also an option. If you've committed crimes, you don't actually have to go on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and fucking actively confess to them. I don't know if you knew that. Nobody's making you do that. Well, yeah, there's no sympathy for that shit. It's like too fucking bad. Why don't you pay Americans an actual fucking decent wage? Especially for construction. Construction is hard physical labor, usually outside in the fucking elements. People should be paid good for it. And it ain't like the contractors are passing the savings on to the fucking customer. No, they're just getting another boat. Thomas Crown says there's only so much progress that Trump can actually make with black voters because so many of them are addicted to government social programs, which means they have to vote Dem to grow. Like, I get that. Like, look, man, I'm not saying that everything's going to be staunchly Republican. But more things are going to. And the areas that are Democrat aren't going to be as strong Democrat as they were. You know, like... You know, no, Trump's never going to get the majority of black women. But like I said, the mere fact that the Democrats lost ground in the core constituency is pretty insane. Like, a Democrat's never going to get the majority of conservative boomers. But if a Republican was losing ground in that group, you'd be like, holy shit, what's going wrong here? Wolfland says younger blacks tend to be more chill and want to support themselves instead of being on the dole. So that may or may not... look, a lot of things are shifting, right? Especially with the younger generation. Like, what that how that will shake out, I couldn't tell you. I can't see the future. But the Democrat Party as it exists right now is fucking dead. It's fucking dead in the water. Now, if and when a new form of the Democrat Party rises up to take its place, I don't know. Like, let me tell you something. The Republican Party died probably in 2008. Or at least it was mortally wounded in 2008. And by 2012, it was dead. The Republican Party you knew prior to 2012 fucking died, okay? It was revived in a completely different form by Trump. But this isn't the same Republican Party, okay? This isn't a Republican Party that's ever going to get talked into the Iraq War or shit like that ever again. It's not the same party. It's considerably less pro-Israel than it was in, say, the W years. And to the extent it is pro-Israel, it's like, you know, yeah, fine, they have the right to exist. We're not fighting their wars for them. So, I mean, the Democrat Party that you knew from just a couple years ago is fucking dead. It's dead, okay? BreadTube is dead. The progressivism is dead. All that shit's done as any kind of viable national movement. When something takes its place and what form that takes, I can't say, but the Republican or the Democrat Party of a couple years ago is dead. It's gone. All right. It will never have the nationalist way it did. If it does, it's going to be because, again, it will be reborn in a new form. Chat says, I remember Rachel Maddow and Jon Stewart celebrating Obama's win in 2008 like it was a coronation. Yeah. And like that's dead. That Democrat Party is gone. Red Pill Renegade says, as a black man myself, I would rather be broke and destitute than ever let the government gaslight me into thinking I need to be dependent on their handouts. And again, like, they don't, like, these people they don't want their neighborhood to be speaking Spanish. You know what I mean? They don't want, it ain't like Chicago was a fucking paradise prior to this. But, you know, but at least they could understand. At least they didn't have to press 1 for English. Eldridge fan says, my parents are yellow dog Dems. I can't convince them that Obama killed the Democrat Party they knew. Yeah, man, certainly the Democrat Party they knew. But even the Democrat Party of Obama is fucking dead. Okay, it's gone. It will. The Democrat Party will not win another national election until it changes significantly in some manner. Again, what form that takes and if and when it happens, I couldn't tell you. But the Democrat Party as it exists right now is no longer a nationally viable party. And it's going to be especially true once you extract, you know, probably 30, maybe as high as 100 million fucking people that don't fucking belong here. Because don't think they weren't voting.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Robert Thierry.
Okay, this will probably be the pro mayor guy, right? There's got to be at least one, right? I don't think this is the one.
Hello, thank you for letting me have this opportunity to speak. My name is Robert Thierry. In 2017, I became homeless and disabled. But this year, there was an October 7th attack on 2 of Chicago's homeless people. Mr. Paul Williams and David Swick were both executed for being homeless, and David Swick was also disabled. I was protesting because homeless lives matter. On November 14th, I was attacked by the owner of the J.J. Fish. I have video footage on my cell phone. I did not fight back.
Okay,
they made a false report of me saying that I assaulted them.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Look at this fucking pimp right here. I bet he's going to be the pro mayor guy, right? I bet that's going to be the pro mayor guy. Right? Because there's got to be at least one, right? There's got to be, like, if you're the mayor and you're getting this fucked, you got to at least have, like, one of your buddies show up and just go, like, I think you're doing a great job. Just so it's not a complete blowout, right? Ugh.
You spent over $574 million on illegal immigrants here in Chicago, Illinois since 2022. Now, you still feel like you have to harbor these illegals, which is not a good idea. And in my personal opinion, I don't think it's a good idea to challenge Tom Homan on this because he's trying to clean up our cities, Mr. Brandon Johnson.
I don't think it's a good idea to challenge Tom Homan because he is a fucking Terminator sent back in time to hunt Mexicans, okay? Like, that man is legitimately scary, all right? Again, I said last time, that's the kind of guy who, if he's your boss, he's super fucking strict, but he also buys everybody pizza once the current job's, like, if it's like a job site thing, you know, once we're done at the job site, he buys everybody pizza. Takes you to the bar or something afterwards. Like, he takes care of you, but he's also strict as hell. And he's not to be fucked with. Tom Holland is not to be fucked with, all right? You ever just see a guy and just instantly, you know, he is not, and he's not like he's not one of these big alpha males swinging his dick around kind of shit. He's not some paper alpha Mark Driscoll motherfucker or some manosphere guy where he has to drive in a Bugatti and shit. He doesn't swing it around. He just very clearly is not somebody you want to fuck with. So yeah, look, if you want to, if you, Tom's even said this himself, like, if you don't want to help me, that's fine. If I wouldn't want you to violate your conscience, but you better not get in my way. And yeah, I wouldn't, man. Deport the fucking mayor. He doesn't care. Like, nothing gets that man's dick harder than throwing people out of this country. He's the bouncer of this country.
Now, let me just remind everybody here that Brandon Johnson is terrible with the budget. How is this $40 million credit line is going to work exactly? Because the key word is credit. So how much will we be using from this $40 million? And the real question is, how much will we be paying back? Now, you want to sit here, you and J.B. Pritzker want to puff out your chest and fight Tom Homan. We need Tom Homan here in Chicago. We need Donald Trump. And I don't want to see people like Pam Bundy and Kash Patel, you know, haul you up out of here and become prosecuted. I don't want to see that happen. But they...
I don't know, man. I think you kind of do want to see that happen. And I agree. I would also like to see... Hey, look, man, I don't want to see you go to jail. I mean, I don't want to see the FBI fuck you in the ass. So if I were you, I would stop begging the FBI to fuck you in the ass. And remember, this is weeks ago. None of these people had the job yet. Like, this is December 16th. And this guy's already like, you better knock it off. Because there's a storm coming with your name on it, motherfucker. Oh. Armored Ghost says, Beckloff is way too optimistic, way too soon. The Blues still in control of a lot. You underestimate the severity. I'm sorry, are you not watching this? Are you not seeing how the people are reacting in what is, of course, known Republican stronghold, downtown Chicago? Look, man, a lot of things can happen, but I don't know. We've had 2 weeks now. And the Republican Party has already done more in the past 2 weeks than it's done in the previous 50. At least more good things. I don't know, man. I don't think now ain't the time for black pilling. I'm ODing on white pills right now, my man.
Will do their job if they have to, Brandon Johnson. Now, we are $1 billion in debt. That's absolutely insane. Kamala Harris, she spent $1 billion on her campaign less than a year, and she's $20 million in debt.
Oh, man. I say it again. The Democrat Party, as we've known it for the past several years, is dead. It's dead. I mean, it's like you yanked out a tick and the head is still embedded in there. There's still work to do, but it's dead. All right. Yeah, you need to dig the head out and prevent an infection, but it's not sucking the blood anymore. All right, it's dead. It's done. Like, and they have no idea what. I mean, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna call more people Hitler? Are they gonna call this guy Hitler? Are they gonna call this motherfucker right here Hitler? Are they gonna tell him he's a white supremacist? Are they gonna show him pictures of crying little Mexican kids and expect him to give a shit? Because I don't think he's gonna. Forney says, "Hey, Libs, now is not the time for fear. That comes later. No, now is the time where you get fucking deported. Like, now is the time where the Chicago mayor is going to get arrested if he thinks he's going to fucking stand in the way."
So it's looking like Democrats are bad with money. Now, you ignored me for 10 to 15 seconds last time I was speaking, and I really did not appreciate that at all. But I got a Christmas present for you. Let's remind the people of Chicago that Brandon Johnson spent $32,000 in campaign funds on haircuts and makeup. So I got an early Christmas present for you, Brandon Johnson. This is some makeup for you right here. You got some rouge, you got the makeup brush right there, so you can save this people some money, for crying out loud.
By the way, chat, I know some of y'all ain't quite as down with the Martin Luther King Boulevard culture as I am. You do realize that he just called him a fag. I hope we understand, like, what he just did there. Oh. Chat's talking about JDA. Look, man, I don't follow anything JDA says. Like, gross. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I have that motherfucker. That is one of the few people I blocked just because, like, muting wasn't enough. I was tired of seeing people reply to him and shit. Like, I don't want this guy anywhere near me. Chat says we should be careful and vigilant going forward. It's far from over, but we need the morale boost. Yeah, I'm not saying like sit on your, just keep advancing, but it doesn't seem like the people in power are having any problem doing that. Brandon Johnson, they gonna think you're sweet out here.
Now, let me tell you people, I'm going to be serious here. We need to start voting different in these cities like New York and Chicago. Stop voting these people in. It's not Democrat versus Republican anymore. It is populist versus establishment. It is the populist versus the establishment. Stop letting them trick you into the race baiting when it comes to Brandon Johnson. Oh, black people need help too. Trump want to hurt black people. What are you talking about? We're legal here. We are legal. Now, I'm trying to be nice about this, and Mr. Brandon Johnson, I do respect you in a little bit of way because you're trying the best that you can. I really want to believe that, but listen, man, you got a 14% approval rating, so the people is looking like they're telling you that you're fired, man. So
14% approval rating. I didn't know it was that low. Is that real? Holy shit, dude. How does it even get that low? There's usually at least 20% solid on either party that'll just approve of their party's guy, no matter what. Oh, man. Chat says bring back Undertow. I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't do this stuff anymore. You know?
I'm just humbly asking you, Brandon Johnson, to please come up with something that's reasonable by the end of this year, because I don't want to see a government shutdown, Mr. Brandon Johnson. Please do your job. I don't care if you're black. Chicago needs to get rid of DEI. I don't care if you're black.
The vibe shift, chat. Oh, man.
Can you do the job? Can you do the job, Mr. Brandon Johnson? And it's looking like you can't do the job.
Look at him just standing there. He just kind of stand there. Well, one person after another is just roasting him. This dude low-key called him a fag and a retard. And he's the nicest one so far.
So please don't fail us.
Thank you very much for your comments. Your Honor, there are no further speakers who have timely signed up for the public comment period.
Farewell. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, they're trying to say there weren't any
Sergeant
more
at
speakers.
Arms, please restore order.
Oh, it's some pro-immigrant fags. Oh my gosh. That was fun. Oh, it's going to be a fun few years, man. Well, I don't know. I just wanted to watch that. I had finally found the clip. I'd seen some of this passing around, and I finally found a good chunk of it, and I was like, let's watch it. I think there's more recent ones, too. Like, every one of these fucking meetings is just this over and over again. Chat says, there we go with the fascist America crap. Yeah, nobody cares, though. Like, that's all you got? It's a fascist? Like, what is a fascist? It's where we lower taxes and have a secure border? Oh my gosh, so fascist. Like, you've turned Hitler into a compliment, okay? Like, that black guy we just saw probably gets called Hitler, all right? Like, doesn't work anymore. It doesn't mean anything. Thomas Crown says, he shouldn't respect Brandon Johnson. He should... No, you gotta understand. He called him a retard and a fag, all right? Like, I'm sure you're doing the best you can, you dumb son of a bitch. Oh man, chat. I think we're good. I think it's going to be a good few years. I think it's going to be a good. I think we got some bright times ahead of us. I am more hopeful for the future of this country than I've quite possibly ever been. Certainly in like my entire adult life. Okay, I am at least more hopeful for the future of this country than I've been since 9/11. All right. I think we're headed for some good times. All right, folks. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you enjoy the content I put out, I don't know why you would. It's dog shit. But if you do, you should send to streamlabs.com/thebecloff super chat. Send it while I'm not live, and I'll see it when I am live. PayPal.me/TheBeckloff. You can donate that way. And I'll put a link to the Amazon wishlist down below so you can buy me some of the dumb shit that I like if you're so inclined. And donations are greatly appreciated right now while I'm a jobless bum. That's about it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for listening.